When I started trading, I had only one dream in my mind: to make money. But if I'm being honest, in the first few years I lost far more than I ever made. Every day I tried new methods. I trusted every new tip, and each time I entered the market with fresh hope. But the result was always the same: fear, mistakes, and losses. One day I finally understood something important. The mistake was not in the market. The mistake was in the way I was thinking. Every time I was just playing a new gamble. I had no solid plan at all. Today, I want to share the biggest lesson that changed my life. In trading, you don't need to defeat the market. You need to defeat yourself. And the way to defeat yourself is simple in theory, but hard in practice. Build one system and stick to it. It's not easy, but this is the path that turns a losing trader into a winning one. So watch this video till the end. You'll see how I transformed myself from a losing trader into a professional. And if what I'm saying feels real to you, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, because here I share trading truths you won't find anywhere else. So let's begin. When I first started trading, I had the same desires you probably have right now. The dream of quick money, the urge to prove myself, the hunger to be the fastest in this game. I believed that if I learned to read charts properly, if I entered at the right place, the market would reward me every time. But reality was the exact opposite. I want to be honest with you. Trading broke me. This journey was far more difficult and painful than I ever imagined. Every time I lost, I blamed myself. And whenever I made profit, ego took over and I lost everything in the very next trade. This cycle never stopped. Hope, loss, greed, fear. I know you've felt this too. Every time you enter a trade, you think, this time it will be right. And then once again, the same fear, the same mistake. I understand, because I've been exactly where you are today. It took me a long time to realize that the problem is not the market. The market simply does what it does. The real battle is inside us. Our thinking, our habits, our fear, our greed. These are the things that force us to lose again and again. That's where my real learning began. I asked myself one question: will I keep losing like this forever? Or is it time to build a solid method and learn to stick to it no matter what? That's the same question I want to ask you today. If you're tired of losing, if you want your hard work to finally pay off, you need to ask yourself this question honestly. I decided that I would no longer let trading be a gamble. I would build a system where emotions have no place, only rules, and trust in those rules. This is the right time for you as well. Pause. Look at where what you've been doing so far has taken you, and decide that from now on, you will work with a system and learn to leave fear and greed behind. This journey is not easy, but it is possible. And this is the first step that can turn you from a loser into a winner. When I promised myself that I would no longer gamble in this game, a big question appeared: why a system? Does a system really make a difference? Let me tell you, before I had a system, every trade brought new hope and new fear. Every time I thought I would beat the market, and every loss slowly destroyed my confidence. This probably happens to you too. You think next time you'll enter better, next time you'll make more money. But when the result goes against you, panic sets in. This is where a system changes your life. When you have a system, a fixed method with clear rules, your mind no longer needs to decide what to do. You don't need to fight your fear or your greed or panic while watching charts. You simply do what your rules tell you to do. I learned that nothing in the market is guaranteed. Every moment is new, and anything can happen. No one can promise that your next trade will be profitable. And this is where most people get trapped. They think they can predict the next move. But the truth is, no one can read the market perfectly. When you accept that every trade is just a probability, and you have predefined rules for every probability, you save yourself from the stress and fear that comes with every new trade. Through my system, I learned to accept losses as part of the game. I didn't move forward by rejecting losses, but by embracing them. Because I knew that within my system were wins far bigger than my losses. If you're still trading with the belief that you'll be smarter next time, you're lying to yourself. Intelligence in trading does not mean predicting the future. It means deciding in advance what you will do in any situation. That's the difference between a professional and a beginner. A professional follows a system. A beginner follows emotions. And you must decide which side you want to be on. I have no doubt that you can win this game too. But for that, you must build your own system. And more importantly, you must promise yourself that no matter what happens, you will stick to it. When I finally built my system and defined clear rules for entry, exit, and risk, I thought everything would be fine. But that's when the real challenge began. Building a system wasn't hard. Trusting it was. When the first loss came, the same fear returned. My mind kept saying, maybe this system is wrong. Maybe the market has changed. I know you feel the same when a trade goes against you. You start questioning your rules and think about following intuition instead. But this is where the biggest lesson lies. If you've built your system thoughtfully and tested it, learn to accept the outcome of every trade. My job was not to defeat the market. My job was to follow my system. Every trade is just one probability. The outcome is not in my control. What is in my control is following my rules. When you stick to your system, fear slowly disappears. Your mind becomes calm. You start seeing market movements as events, not personal attacks. This mindset is what makes you a professional. Losing in the market is not a crime. Losing discipline is. Breaking your rules is the real defeat. When you break your rules, you break the promise you made to yourself. So trust your system, even if you face early losses. Even if others tell you that you're wrong. Don't break your rules. That trust will take you to places you once thought were impossible. Don't try to change the market. Change yourself. Make yourself strong enough to stick to your system in all conditions. That is the real victory. And when you achieve this, you'll notice that money starts coming naturally. Even after learning to trust my system, the real battle was still there. The battle with fear and greed. After a few losses, fear would rise. After a few wins, greed would take over. I learned to stop myself. The purpose of a system is to protect you from these emotions. If emotions control you, you're still part of the losing crowd. Most traders lose because fear forces early exits, or greed pushes them to take unnecessary risks. Both slowly destroy you. If you truly want to become professional, you must develop the mental strength to stand by your system in all conditions. Wins or losses should not change your behavior. For me, winning and losing meant only one thing: did I follow my rules or not? If I broke my rules, even profit was a loss. If I followed them, even a loss was a win. Stop chasing fear and greed, and the market will start chasing you. Stay calm. Stay with your system. That's how real professionals are made. When I finally understood my fear and greed, I realized the real change wasn't in my system, but in me. I didn't need to change the market. I needed to change myself. The market will always remain uncertain. Noise will always exist. But your mindset can be fixed. Success doesn't come from finding new strategies. It comes from becoming the person who can follow one strategy consistently. It took me years to learn that success comes from within. When profits and losses became just numbers, my real victory was staying disciplined. The hardest part is staying consistent, not breaking rules during losses, not increasing risk during wins. These two habits decide whether you survive long-term or not. Those who fail, fail because they lose trust midway. Those who stick with their system survive the ups and downs and reach their destination. So never quit halfway. Stick to your rules when you lose. Stick to your rules when you win. This discipline will take you where you've always wanted to go. Don't try to change the market. Change yourself. Become strong enough to follow your rules in all situations. That's the true meaning of staying in the game. If you learn to trust yourself and your system, no one in the market can stop you. You are made to win. You just need to make yourself capable of reaching that win. That is my final and biggest lesson. At some point in this journey, something very subtle but very powerful begins to happen. You stop asking the market to give you certainty, and instead you start giving yourself structure. This is where most traders either evolve or disappear, because once you commit to one system and decide to stay with it, the market immediately tests you. Not the system, you. The first real test comes when your system works exactly as designed, but still produces a loss. This moment breaks most people. They say, I followed all the rules and still lost. And because they secretly believe that discipline should guarantee profit, they feel cheated. This is where Mark Douglas's lesson becomes brutally clear. A system is not a promise of winning. It is a promise of consistency. And consistency is the only thing that gives probabilities the space to work. When you truly understand this, losses stop feeling personal. They stop feeling like proof that you are wrong. They become information. Neutral. Expected. Just another data point in a long series of trades. But this level of thinking doesn't come from intelligence. It comes from repetition. From doing the same right thing again and again, especially when your emotions are screaming for you to do something else. Most traders think confidence comes from winning. That is a lie. Confidence comes from knowing exactly what you will do regardless of the outcome. When you don't have that clarity, every tick of price feels like a threat. Every candle feels like a decision. And decision-making under pressure is where fear is born. This is why traders jump from strategy to strategy. They are not chasing better entries. They are running away from emotional discomfort. The moment a system produces a drawdown, they abandon it, not because it stopped working, but because they stopped trusting themselves. And every time they do this, they reset their learning curve back to zero. Sticking to one system forces you to confront your deepest trading fears. Fear of being wrong, fear of missing out, fear of looking foolish, fear of losing control. And until you face these fears, no system on earth will save you. You could be handed the most profitable strategy ever created, and you would still sabotage it because your mind has not been trained to operate within uncertainty. The market does not reward intelligence. It rewards discipline. It rewards those who can execute the same edge repeatedly without interference. This is why professional traders often look boring. Their trading lacks excitement. No impulsive entries, no emotional exits, no dramatic wins or losses, just execution, over and over again. At this stage, you begin to realize that your system is not just a method for entering trades. It is a mirror. It shows you exactly who you are when pressure appears. Every rule you break reveals a weakness. Every impulse exposes a belief you haven't dealt with yet. And if you are honest, you start to see that the real work is not on the chart. It's in your thinking. One of the hardest lessons is accepting that you do not need to be right